If you can make yourself known. There we go. We got Carol Chua, one of our advisors, board of advisors. We also have got Danny. Danny, where are you? There we go. We got Danny Leong. We got Charmaine also. Give us a wave, Charmaine. There we are. Good to have you with us. We've also got Jasmine and Jasmine. There we go. Hi, Jasmine. Kelvin, are you here, Kelvin? Give us a wave, Kelvin, if you're here.
Kelvin is not here.
Okay. Okay. So okay, very good. Yeah. So welcome, one and all. This is the graduation ceremony and pitch, where we will give you 5 minutes to get your pitch across. We're gonna start off with fast link, and then believe, and then WFH, followed by team check me out. And then we will transform into team transformer for team number 5. Team number 6 presenting will be team no name, followed by team reach out. Then we had Trinity with the 3 in front. Team number 9 performing will be WTF, wholesome and thrifty food, followed by team number 10, identity vault. Team 11, team 6, Sandran Berhad. They already incorporated, that's impressive. Team number 12 will be Receptify. 13 will be CheckMed. And then team 14 will be Commute. We'll start off in the next couple of minutes. Let's those of you who want to make sure that you're the right person to share the screen, that's going to be, I believe, Wei Xiong, Ideal, Dashini, Jonathan, Starry Night Im, Mayan, Marcus, Eric, Eunice, Jeremy, Jessica, Homam, Ziming, and Xiu Ling. That's who I have in the list so far. So for now, we're gonna just wait a couple more minutes, and then we'll get started real quick after that. Okay, let's get started. Team number 1, Team Fastlink.
I'm Fang, sorry, I'm from WFH, Team 3. Actually,
Yep.
Dashni wouldn't be presenting the slides. It's supposed to be Kurato. And
Okay.
I believe I told Siwan, so I'm not sure if the access given correctly.
Yes, so I think access has been given for multiple participants.
Oh, okay.
So those of you who need to share your screen, please share your screen at the right time, but make sure you also stop sharing so that the next team can share their slides. Okay, without further ado, we're gonna jump straight into it. Team Fastlink, the floor is yours. Team Fastlink. Team leader Wei Xiong.
Hello everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right.
Your 5 minutes starts. I'll let you put that in presentation mode first. Okay, are you ready, Wei Xiong?
Yes.
Brilliant. Your 5 minutes start now.
All right. Hello, and good day, everyone. So today, let's talk about crypto master. So before this, we firstly think that people often have a misconception and misunderstood, and some of them don't really understand what is cryptocurrency, and there's no proper channel or pathway to give a step-by-step education on cryptocurrency, and therefore crypto master exists to help people who want to educate and learn the crypto. So this is our logo. As you can see, the sensei, the cartoon, very cute, right? It means the master. And the net behind it means the decentralized network. So by using this platform, you can learn to be a crypto professional.
All right, so there are certain fears that people have. So like real life pain points that people have when talking about cryptocurrency. So one is the fear that it might be a scam, someone might be duping them. There are concerns regarding government policies like legislation of crypto in Malaysia, how to begin the process. Prices seem highly volatile as well. And for some people, it's just too hard to grasp. Next. So we actually initiated an IPA qualitative data analysis so that to like further understand the choices of our research studies. And some of the questions we asked in the survey were like, do you know what crypto is? How did you learn about crypto? Do you see the need for crypto? What kind of information about crypto would empower you? And are there information readily available that you know? And would you consider yourself as a risk taker? And what will entice you to buy your first crypto? And through that, we created our objectives. Firstly, we understood our target market. Our primary target market are millennials and age 40 plus. And our secondary target market are youngsters who are 18 plus. So in for the millennials and age 40 plus, we realized that they know about crypto, but they're just not too keen on investing because the prices are very volatile. But for youngsters, they don't know about crypto and they would want like a step-by-step guide on understanding crypto. So we came up with our objectives as to what we want to do in this educative platform, which was we plan to make them understand how and where to start, educate to our target audience the benefits and potential of crypto, to overcome the fear and ambiguity toward crypto, create an understanding of how to diversify your investment portfolio, and also why they should be joining us, which we will address in the next slides.
All right, so the next will be how we gain knowledge from, we want to gain knowledge. We gain knowledge through learning in order to become expert in what we are doing, right? So how we are going to, how do we learn? All right, we learn through a proper step-by-step education system where, you know, Crypto Master is providing, all right? From, as you can see from the very beginning, what is crypto? What is blockchain? What is crypto is about, you know, from really understanding crypto 101 to the next step where what is, you know, we also, the next level will be what is mining. So if you talk about mining, what is POW, what is POS, what is POC, and etc. and etc. You know, this is all the method of mining method. Move on next, we're going to introduce what is BTC, what is ETH, what is that? So this is about Bitcoin, BTC, all right, ETH is Ethereum. And what is stablecoin? USDT and USDC. So this is all, you know, step-by-step level that we will empower our customer, our end user to learn from, you know, A, B, C to Z, all right? Next, we will also talk about what is exchange. There's so many exchange, you know, what is our exchange different from others? How you do trading, spot trading, be it spot trading, futures, or stacking or fixed deposit or something like that. All right. Next, we will move on to wallet. We will kind of like introduce what is hot wallet, what is cold wallet, and the usability of wallet, how you can use it. All right, it's all step by step. And the last thing will be how to cash out profit. So I think this is the most people concerned. When I make profit, when I invest everything, I invest my money into your platform. How should I get money out of your platform? All right. So this is a very critical. So why are we doing all those step-by-step flow? All right. We want to create an end-to-end understanding of crypto knowledge, for people, which is from zero knowledge to 100%. All right. And also through only this education where we can actually eliminate fear and create in-depth understanding of what is financial freedom, which the traditional banking, they couldn't give you that kind of benefit, and using crypto exchange or whatever platform, you can actually treat, there's only minimum fee involved in transaction compared to traditional banking. The last thing would be we want to instill a self-confidence concept via our systematic step-by-step learning journey and make this a powerful tools for them to accelerate well.
Okay, wrap up the last point. Thank you very much. Fastlink, open up to the judges now for their questions.
Hi, thank you guys. Okay, I understand that you're trying to organize or a problem statement of educating people to give them basics on crypto and all that. You do realize that there are quite a lot of schools out there that are doing this. So I'm not sure if it was a slide that you couldn't get to or, but how are you planning to monetize this concept?
Yeah, there's several slides we didn't get to actually.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So could you just in 30 seconds tell me?
Wait, just
The
slide.
slide.
Yep. Sure,
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Which one probably we can elaborate slightly on this phrase thing. Yeah.
Okay.
30 seconds.
So actually, by using this platform, how to make money. So we have advanced information of crypto. So means that we have different level, like we talk about from beginner course to professional level course. So for beginner, of course, basic information is free. And when you go higher and higher level, of course, with a VIP subscription, you can buy a premium one, a major one, or professional one. So from that we can get money. So by using user can collect the point like as after they complete the understanding in the content. What I mean this is like an achievement. So the achievement, like after you done something, then you got the token, then more people will will want to invest in it. So also free
Okay, your 30
referral fee.
seconds have gone.
All right.
What is the biggest salient point that you want to give me now? You have essentially one sentence.
Means that by buying subscribe on our how to say the courses, you can we can earn money.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Team Fastlink. Next, you can stop sharing your slide, please. We'll move over to Team Believe. Team leader is Ideal. Are you ready, Ideal? Who will be presenting from your team?
I'll be presenting. Is it clear?
Yes, it's clear. You can start now.
Hey everyone, my name is Adil, and together with my team member Jan, Kathleen, Koon, Sophia, and V, we are Team Believe. Thanks. Unless you've been living under the rock, you would have known that the COVID-19 pandemic has severely impacted the human population, either on the social or economic sense. And in Malaysia alone, the poverty rate was the highest in March last year at 61% for the B40 round. Next. On the other side of the world, we can see that the companies with CSR initiatives are still facing difficulties in measuring the CSR impacts, especially on the lack of visibility to observe on the progress and duration of those programs. Next. However, what if I will tell you that there's essentially a bigger problem, and that bigger problem essentially entails about honeybees. So what's wrong with honeybees? Essentially, they're disappearing at an alarming rate, with over 70% of the population has disappeared over the past few years. And how is this affecting us? Essentially, 1/3 of the food that we eat relies on the pollination by bees. Next, please. Hence, by culminating together, like creating a cocktail of those particular problem statements that we have come up with Believe to essentially integrate CSR initiatives and collective investments in order to uplift impoverished communities through bee farming. Next. Why bee farming, you might ask? So essentially with bee farming, it requires the least amount of space as compared to other agricultural practices, with only 7 square feet needed for 2 beehives. It also has a very low initial investments, as well as high potential of growth in the cullular or the stingless bee industry, within Malaysia alone of over 700 million USD in annual sales. Over to B.
Thanks, Adil. So who are going to be the investors of Believe? So our original target segments are going to be corporates that aim to use their ESG funds in either social economic impact or environmental impact. These companies can also be those that are already in the space of plantations or agriculture. As the platform grows, we'll also open to individuals who wish to make a difference by contributing back to the society. This will be done by collective funds. Next. In terms of beneficiary, we'll first target the Malaysians that are living in the rural or urban area that are facing financial difficulties. These are the people who are open to learn and adapt to bee farming and also commit to immerse in new technology. Next, now let me walk you through how Believe work. So first of all, the funders can go onto our platforms, see the amount of fundings that they are going to fund. They can also select the bee farms that they want to fund. Believe will use this amount of money to equip the bee farming kits to the farmer. We'll also provide them with trainings. Farmers at the end of the harvest section will also provide the honey and bee products back to Believe, and we will help them with the distribution back to the market. Periodically, we'll also automate CSR and social impact reports that will be sent back to the funders. Over to Kathleen.
Thanks, Fee. So how Believe plans to quantify our investment is to charge $1,000 USD, and this goes into areas such as farming kits and maintenance fees. This will approximately produce about 90 kg of honey with an estimated revenue of $1,200 USD per annum. So in the next slide, how our app will function will be a 3-pronged approach to first connect communities, secondly, to track and record through bi-weekly reports, and lastly, to allow contributors to analyze their quantifiable impact. So moving on to the next slide, this is how our roadmap will look like. Firstly, to start off with a beta soft launch through a web app to determine its success among selected companies and individuals with honey harvested from 10 urban farms and rural farms as well. Secondly, we will conduct our launch with an app version and automate CSR reports for seamless tracking. And lastly, if deemed successful and viable, we plan to scale to other states in Malaysia and open to pooled investments for retail investors. So now I'll hand over the time to Jen.
Thanks, Kath. So, hi guys, this is us, the 6 founding believers from 4 different countries with multidisciplinary skills. In particular, we have 3 people in Malaysia, and we are well placed to start scaling in Malaysia and later in Vietnam, Cambodia, and Singapore. So what's next? Come join us on our journey to go above and beyond to beautify the world one hive at a time. Be a believer today. Thank you, and we're happy to take any questions you might have.
Brilliant, good timing. Just a little bit over, question and answers, judges.
Hi, I have a question. Any one of you can take it. I actually may have missed a little bit in terms of your monetization model over there, but I would also like to understand, right? Which one of you is going to be the expertise, right, in this, in terms of actually, going in terms of training the farmers and actually talking to the farmers, and how many existing bee farms that's already in Malaysia, and how well connected you are with these bee farmers. Sorry, my dog is barking.
Yep, I'm happy to take the question. So I'm Ideal. So essentially, before like working in my current role, I previously did a degree in agriculture in particular. So I'm well connected to, I would say, the either on like the academician side where they're doing researches on bees, colonies and stuff, as well as the associations that we can find in Malaysia. So apparently, like there are like a number of like bee enthusiast group, as well as bee, like those who are very into like bee farming, but not at a very, I would say, large scale. So essentially, in order to have trainers, we have access to those people. Yep.
Thank you.
But to have the exact number, etc., it's not as essentially available at the moment.
So what is your projected profit or loss within the first 3 years?
Yeah, if we can move to the 1000, if we move to the pie chart page. So essentially, like with 1000 USD capital, we can look into a floor revenue of 1200 USD per annum. And essentially, this is actually the floor price, because considering the amount of honey that we can produce, as well as the other produce, such as the bee wax, as well as royal jelly, we can go as high as 1.7K. However, like that is like the ceiling amount. So we're looking to around 1.2K for one project, or for one beehive, actually.
Charmaine, you have any more questions?
You go
Sorry,
ahead.
I have a quick question. Yeah, thanks, Jasmine. I think following up on that, while this is a great kind of unit economic view, is there a business case? How many beehives or bee farmers are you going to get in the first year, second year, third year, fourth year? How much of that is invested? How much of it is coming back out? What is the break-even point of your business case, right? Is there something like that?
We have had to go that deep into the research side of things. However, like the focus here is more focused like to assist those communities. So not essentially the currently trained bee farmers, but instead like impoverished communities. Yes, Jennifer?
Yeah, and I think you can also look at it in terms of, I think what we can see it as two tracks. One would be the philanthropy track, and the other will be an investment track. So for the philanthropy track, this will be essentially where we can register individual farms, where I guess the donations from corporates would then be able to count towards tax deductible donations as well. So that would be what's in it for corporates in terms of why they should I guess give us $1,000 per farm. Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. Now, philanthropy track, if it's a philanthropy track, you're expecting corporates to finance the 1,000 per kid into communities to allow them to do this farming. Is that correct? But do you know what is the demand for these honeys that you will be able to sell? And what happens if you can't sell that? That's one question. The other question is, you need to clarify for me, I guess to some extent, what is philanthropy track and then what is the corporate track, because they both require an investment. What happens to the produce? That's not clearly spelled out. And if you're talking about philanthropy track, which communities are you targeting at? And what is the size per community in terms of the kit that you need to make this actually profitable? You have not been able to calculate for us what is the break even in terms of how many communities you need to get on board and how many corporates that you need to finance them if it's a CSR track, and if it is not a CSR track, if it is a farming commercial track, then that calculation still needs to come up in terms of how many kids needs to be out there producing, and what happens if the kids are not working.
30 seconds to answer that question.
Sure. I think we have identified certain communities that we'd like to start with. So we would like to start with people in the rural and urban tracks. So I think some states that we have identified for the rural side would be Pahang, and for the urban side, we have identified Penang. I think Ideal can elaborate a little bit more about that. And then in terms of the philanthropy track, so I think we can see it as people progressing from the philanthropy track to the investment track, because I think for the starting the philanthropy track is an easy way to start with the go to market, because then we don't have to promise a rate of return, but what the corporates are getting on their end is the 7% tax deductions if they are based in Malaysia, for example, and we will be applying for
Finish up your point, please, Jennifer.
Yeah, so that would be the main track. So tax deductions for the philanthropic track, and then slowly as we can monitor the investment, because Kelulut di Honey is actually
Okay, I'll have to stop you there. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you, Team Believe, buzzing around with your ideas. Now, the next we have Team Work From Home, WFH. When you're ready.
Yep, thank you, Frank.
Who will be presenting from your team? Is that you, Aiman?
Yep, Aiman.
And I will be presenting as well.
Okay.
Anissa.
Sounds good. Your 5 minutes start now.
Thank you. The illiterate of the 21st century are not those who cannot write or read, but those who are unable to learn and relearn. Alvin Toffler. Panel of judges, fellow collaborators, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, greetings. On behalf of WFH, my name is Aiman. Together with my colleague Nisa, we'll be presenting on our idea on how working from home can now be transformed into without fixed habitation. Well, just to share, in a recent report by Statistics Department of Malaysia, the percentage of unemployed graduates has surged 22.5% last year alone, totaling up to 700,000 graduates without jobs. Well, that made us wonder, and out of responsibility and a proven study by McKinsey Institute, we felt that there's a need, an urgent need, to come up with an enabler that not only correspond with the situation, really demanding, but furthermore to create a long-term conducive facilitative environment for freelancers, which is the new norm of the future. My colleague Nisa will walk you through our solution to the situation. Over to you, Nisa.
Thank you, Aiman. I will now brief you through our solution. When we onboard our customers, we will ask them a set of questions that will help in tailoring the hiring or freelancing decisions. Questions include, but not limited to, what are the skills needed, preferred payment range, project timeframe, and so on. Their answers would feed into our machine learning engine and would produce compatibility score for both employers and freelancers. With those scores, they could choose to match with each other and proceed with drafting project details and quotations on our platform itself. When signing a contract, freelancers has the option to be paid via progress billing or be paid in full only when their project is completed. We provide billable tasks and invoice management to handle this type of payments as well. Employers must pay 50% upfront salary through us, or they could choose to engage with our advanced salary partner, FlexPay, at a higher fee to pay on behalf of them first. Once a project is done, employers and freelancers could rate each other, and that data will be back to our ML engine. Next. So out of our 750 unemployed workforce that we have at the moment, we are targeting to capture 10% of them as our customers. Our revenue will be based on work completion, where we charge 15% fees for every job completed. This gives us a revenue estimation of around 5.6 million in our first year of operation. 10% is charged to the employers and another 5% is charged to the freelancers. Okay. Ultimately, we aim to provide a one-stop service for freelancers and employers. Our AI job compatibility matching ensures customers have a steady pipeline of work along with good prospects. We provide our customers access to a decent capital for business continuity and better cash flow through upfront payment option for our freelancers. We also allow freelancers to record and manage their billable hours effectively, which we also integrate into our e-invoicing management features with option of e-invoicing templates that are completely tax compliant in Malaysia. So we are going to be both web-based and app-based. This is our initial app UI for now. Next, over to
if you can see if you can see the big plan that we have here, it is not only a crowdsourcing platform. It aims to provide a complete supportive ecosystem for the talents, we call it the freelancers. And we can see that the development can be, and growth can be vertically and horizontally. So that's the global reach that we are looking into. Furthermore, what we also look into is a educational upskilling and reskilling nano learning platform, allowing also digital marketplace and work-life balance by giving opportunity to our talents to contribute back to the society through social engagements, NGO and donors. Next. So in conclusion, what we believe is that this is not a mere normal crowdsourcing platform. No, it is not. We aspire to be the habitat that any freelancers anywhere in the world would like to hang out, to come, to inspire, to spend their time, to spend their money, to come and do many things and enjoy their life here. WFH is no longer a boring activity for you. It is where you collaborate. It is where you generate. With that, I thank you. I now open to the members of the judges to ask any questions.
Very good. Judges?
Seeing that I'm from LinkedIn, I got a good question here. How are you going to attract the community over? And what's stopping any of these communities? It's not just LinkedIn, it could be Facebook, could be any of these communities from doing exactly what you're doing.
Dashini, over to you.
Yep, so you're asking how are we different from other platforms, right?
It's more of how are you going to get people over to your platform that already exist on a different platform to do exactly what you're doing?
Okay, first, our aim is to actually tap the freelancers. For now, so we are looking at to tie up with universities and even with the training institutes to tap the talent pool. And also because now we have a lot of fresh graduates who are not even able to look for jobs because of this pandemic and whatnot. So we are going to be out there trying to tie up with the universities, even startups, because they are pretty new and everything. So this way we are going to try to attract them and get the freelancers on board too.
So it's a bit of a chicken and an egg, right? Because your freelancers won't come on board unless you have jobs, and your employers won't come on board unless you have freelancers. So what's the angle or what way you're going to get momentum on this?
Okay, that could be like through social media, because when you actually advertise on social media, we could actually start up with like Instagram page or Facebook page to let people know of WFH. And we have many people who are like who lost their jobs during this pandemic and whatnot. So maybe we can start with digital marketers or anyone who's like able to do this freelancing job. And when they go through the social media, they will be able to actually browse through our platform.
Additionally, I would like also to add to that is that a lot of the existing platforms out there, they don't really provide a one-stop service where they probably just show, okay, this is a job, this is a vacancy, but then there's no like really, you have to apply for it, and a lot of them sometimes don't even hear back from the employer. So this is basically kind of providing a platform that adds value to both employers in terms of the salary upfront payment, where they actually have financial support in the beginning, because we are targeting SMEs to be on our first customers. And then in terms of freelancers, they are able to be able to build a portfolio where they after they finish the job, they will be able to have that rating that's attached to their platform. And then next future employees will look into the rating, kind of, let's say, we're looking at someone who have 5-star rating, and then those freelancers will come up in the options of these companies as well.
I have another question.
Yep.
So you guys mentioned you're going to use AI or machine learning, right, to actually match profiles. But if you're talking about this, fresh grad, right, which possibly do not have any working experiences, how are you going to, build data, or actually even build like the training model? And how long do you think this training model is going to take before you can actually match profile properly?
Well, essentially, the profile is not really matched based on how many people we have. It's more on how, like, let's say if you're an employer, you're saying that, okay, I'm offering a job that's 500 ringgit for this particular job, and then these freelancers are also looking for a job that's 500 ringgit, and then so it's based on those kind of matching. So like this person is also looking for the same salary range, and then let's say the employers are saying, I want someone with certain specific skills, and the freelancers are also saying, I have this specific skills. So the matching will be based on the qualities or the questions that they have answered when we onboard them. So the questions is also going to be not just at the beginning. It's basically going to be like ongoing. It's going to be like somewhere at the side of at one part of the app, where if they want better compatibility match, they will just have to answer more questions about what they're looking for.
Okay, thank you very much, Lisa. Hopefully that answers the question from Team WFH. Team Check Me Out. Team Check Me Out. Who will be your speakers?
I am Fang.
Okay, brilliant. Your time starts now.
Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My team and I are excited to share with you how we tackle a huge pain experienced by most Malaysians. I'm sure you can relate to this. It is a painful process to store receipts, especially if you are an individual submitting for a claim. Just last week, we surveyed across 109 people, and we learned that 68% of the respondents lose receipts for tax claim. And in fact, only 3% of the respondents store their receipts digitally. On top of that, 31% of our respondents were frustrated with fading thermal receipts. And this is critical. It defeats the very purpose of storing your receipts for 7 years that is required by the law for tax auditing. In fact, one of the respondents shared his experience that he was randomly audited for tax submissions 3 years ago, and he had to scramble and recall what he'd actually claimed for and make sure the receipts tally with the claim. Thirdly, there's no one single place to have an aggregated view on how you are spending your money. You have one source of income, but multiple channels on how you spend your money, depending on the payment method that you use. In short, people don't have a full pictures on their financial. So in order to address the above issue, our solutions is that, sorry, next slide, please. We're introducing you to Check Me Out, Smart Spending, Sexy Saving. Our solutions that does not solve the issues on paper receipts and spending habit, but also open up to a whole new possibility for the future. To tell you more about the solutions, I'll pass it on to Grace.
Thank you, Yonglin. So what is Check Me Out? Now, Check Me Out is a platform where users can digitize receipt. Upon registration, user can digitize receipts in 2 ways. 1, you scan and store your receipt, and 2, you forward the receipt from the user's personal email, which can be automated to the Check Me Out account that the user had registered. Now, with the data captured, an analytic report on spending habits for the user can be generated, and it can also generate a list of all claimable items in one single document for easy tax submission and with a single tap. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is not all that Check Me Out can do. Now, what you see here is just the initial phase. We understand that receipts are collected on a daily basis. So why just stop at digitizing receipts? The second phase is the point of sales platform, where receipts can also be captured on the go as you spend with the point of sales system in the hands of the consumers, and merchants get to drive their products also through this platform. This is where the journey of smart savings and sexy spendings begin. Now, with the point of sales in the hands of the user can shop, save time in long queues, digitize receipts, and aggregate their spending habits. Now, for the merchant, this platform can provide a collective analytic report, use AI to push promotion, and the best part, no more paper, and it's ESG friendly. Enough about the product for now. For the metrics, Vanessa will take over.
Thanks, Grace. So the amazing thing about the platform is the endless possibilities offered by the data and the connectivity, almost like open banking. Check Me Out allows revenues generations from multiple channels, a cut on the transactions, but also through hyper-localized data analytics for merchants or leveraging masses to enable savings for smaller players, etc., etc. We are very confident this is a highly promising business. Looking at numbers, just targeting 0.15% of the market shares, we compute revenue of over 760,000 US dollars. We would be profitable from quite early on. We target to double our users from year 1 to year 2 through a marketing strategy inspired from Uber. We won't be too greedy on the market shares. We'll grow organically with the market, and instead we're trying to diversify our earnings from other channels from year 2 onwards. All in all, we have an ambitious plan to become a groundbreaking player, driving innovation from the user side. It's a thrilling journey that starts with the humble idea of solving the receipts problem for Malaysians, all the way to, who knows, the sky's the limit. As a virtual point of sale, we are highly agile to adapt to new technologies, new ideas, and we have quite a few already lined up actually on the roadmap. On behalf of Team 8, Grace, Trinity, Yonglin, Jonathan, and myself, Vanessa, we'd like to thank you for your time. Now, I'd like to invite you to check me out. An early demo is actually available at the QR code just here. Thank you so much.
Very nice, very smooth, right on time.
I have a
Judges?
question. What is your go-to-market strategy?
The go-to-market strategy. Okay, we can actually go to the slide, Jonathan, if you won't mind. So as for the previous team, actually, we have the same problem of the chicken and egg, right? So we need users to onboard merchants, and we need merchants to be able to generate the benefits for the users. This is why also we decided to start with the receipts, and we have the possibility to do the receipt scanning. But of course, it was not very exciting, and there was not a lot of possibilities to generate money out of this. So instead of going to the merchants and asking them whether they can share the data with them and paying them, we found a way actually to generate the data ourselves with the point of sale on the hands of the customer, and actually share the benefits of the data already with the users, because we are actually giving them insights into their own spending habits, and then collectively sharing the hyper-localized data with the merchants around their physical stores. And the market strategy actually to drive users acquisition before merchant acquisition would be also to go to the shops directly and provide them benefits over labor. So on days where they will be overwhelmed with queues at the checkouts, we would be able to help saying, hey, this is an app that users can do, and maybe place a few people out there and have them try on the product directly. And once they are convinced that they want to check out now instead of waiting for the queue, then they can sign up for an account and check out directly.
Your current break-even point is on the basis of your initial MVP, or does it include all of the other things that come with it? Because your revenue projections are very aggressive.
Yes, indeed. Actually, it's not that aggressive, because if you remember, we're only targeting 0.15% of the market shares. There's actually a lot of money that being transacted over the point of sales. So The market, the numbers that you see out here are generally mostly from the point of sales. So we are having a first product with the scanning of the receipts, which unfortunately will not make a lot of money. And this is why we're looking to move into the point of sale systems very quickly. And this is where we're going to start generating money. And calculating all of this, we are targeting about 20,000 users the first year.
Okay, so this current projection model does not include capital, balance sheet, lending defaults that you may have if you do point of sale.
Not all of this, yes. So I have actually factored in on the cost side, as I mentioned on the slide, actually just the development cost and the marketing cost at the moment.
If I may ask, what is your customer acquisition strategy from a perspective of users and merchants specifically?
I think I have not answered this question before, because this is actually going through a very hyper-localized strategy. Because we are actually looking at physical stores, we are looking to drive users acquisition. So a partnership with the merchant saying, hey, we can relieve you on the days where you are actually overwhelmed with the queues. We have a few people using our app, which is actually going to point the users to check out themselves on the app.
Okay.
Okay, last question for Team Check Me Out.
Yeah, as a user, will I be incentivized to use your app?
Yes, so first of all, it's actually quite troublesome to have. There are a number of solutions out there to allow you to digitalize your receipts already. But from what we found, only 3% of our people surveyed use a digital form of digitalized invoices. So that's definitely not something that works for them, and we need incentives to get them on board. And we were thinking of partnering with the merchants and the brands themselves to offer cashbacks or discounts once when everything is moving.
Thank you.
Very good. That was Team Check Me Out. Thank you very much. Good job. Now we are moving on to Team Transformer. Can you get ready your slides, please?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. Team, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, your 5 minutes start now.
We are Transformer, and I, Optimus Prime, has been alerted of the many agonies happened to the approximately 9 million Indonesian migrant workers residing in Malaysia, Singapore, and Hong Kong. Their outward remittance in total of $6.3 billion per annum to their loved ones in Indonesia is currently under the attack of Decepticon. Hence, we come with a mission to rescue 15% of this population in stages, with Malaysia to come first, Singapore, Hong Kong second and third. Dewi, a young Indonesian helper in PJ, Malaysia, called us Autobots to Earth. With just clothes, smartphone, and dreams to give a better future for her family in Bandung, Indonesia, Debbie stays and works in Malaysia with no bank account. She's paid in a cash every month with a worry on how to keep her money safe. She needs to travel miles and miles to the branch of a bank, money transport operator, and outlets of e-wallets providers simply just to top up her balance before initiating a remittance back home to her father's bank's account. Unfortunately, Debbie's father is a gambler and alcoholic who constantly misuses her hard-earned money for himself, leaving nothing for the family, not for food on the table, nor paying their monthly bills. So, other heroes have come to her rescue, but no one can alleviate her pain as yet. So we Transformer formulate a secret weapon for her and others in a similar situation. We call it Si Jempol. In human language means thumbs up. Bumblebee will teach you how to operate Si Jempol, the e-wallet cross-border remittance solution.
How our Si Jempol works, let me show you how they will use it. There are 3 options for Devi to deposit money to our e-wallet, which either by her employer who made the transaction as her salary, by cash top-up at the grocery shop, which very convenient, or through bank transfers. Once she got the money in her e-wallet, she can use it wisely for her family back in Indonesia or for herself in Malaysia. For her family first, she can either transfer the entire amount and let them get cash out from POS Indonesia or direct deposit to their families over e-wallet, who we have partnered with. To avoid misuse of the money, she can choose to control how money is spent, either pay for electricity bills with PLN or buy airtime with Indosat for her family. Everything can be made through our app directly. She can even buy stuff on Tokopedia and send it home on her behalf. If she gets into an emergency while working abroad, she can use our Sichampong to contact hospital, embassy, or police station to get support. There are extra more features that Sichampong allows Devi to use it for herself, such as to buy a bus or train ticket for the transportation within her location, or book and pay for a courier service to send her stuff back home. Let my colleague Untitled show you how our product looks on the MVP and extra feature.
King.
King, I think you're on mute.
Okay, sorry. So as you can see, this is our MVP. So different from our competitors, we offer our apps in 2 languages, Bahasa and also English. Not only that, we also offer local content and also a merchant service with Indonesian authorized FMB. So our clients will always feel like home every single time they access our apps. Next slide, please. So this is our partnership on the first year on the left, as you can see, and the upcoming one on the second and also the third year on the right side, with OFO and also Tokopedia is our main partners. Next slide. So not only will we be able to gain some money, revenue from remittance and also FX spread, we will also be able to gain some revenue from FMB, advertising fee, and sponsor ads content with our local content provider. Next. So our client acquisition side will be done by gaining a partnership with a huge migrant agency in order for them to bring us clients. So the migrant workers will be required to open OFO and also Sichampong account before onboarding. On promotion side, on the first year, we will be able to give them a 4+1 package, so they will be able to save their money more. Next.
Okay, thank you. Last slide.
So this is the Transformer team, Sichampong, your top partner in prudent remittance. Thumbs up.
Thank you very much. Question and answers, judges.
Yeah, I'm going to take a first shot at this. Couple of questions actually. Key thought. You set up a wallet. You want to partner with OVO on the other side. So, firstly, what is your cash in, cash out strategy? Since everyone's being paid in cash on the Malaysia side, how do you cash in from cash into the wallet? And then secondly, what do you transfer on? Like what rails is it going to be on? Is it on Nume? Is it on Visa Master? Have you factored the MDR, the spread into this conversation in terms of the business case? Let's start with that.
Okay, I'll take the first question. So on the cash in and cash out, I think we realized that most of them would need to walk a distance, like to I would say like MTO and stuff to kind of cash in, right? So our purpose is to work with Indonesia FMB in either Malaysia, Singapore, or Hong Kong to allow them to kind of cash in there, as well as like convenience shops, 7-Eleven, Cheers, Sanxiong grocery shops, as well as AXS machine. So these are readily available, or I would say widely spread in the city or places that can be found easily. So that's one. To your second questions, I think our strategy is we don't really want to earn much on the FX spreads for a start, because we want to gain the market share for the time being, but eventually we will factor in that in our transfer from Malaysia, Singapore, Hong Kong side to Indonesia.
No, so just to follow up a little bit on that, right? So on one, you're going to go each and every single potential merchant point to set up some kind of partnership for cash in, cash out. I think that's
I think we will.
That's ambitious.
Okay, sorry to interrupt there. So we will do it in tranches. So we will obviously target the convenience shops first, and the Indonesia FFB that actually being frequented by them. So maybe this would be our first prong. And the second one, we will see where are the other places that they frequented more. But I think convenience shops and F&B for the first.
Okay, I think that's ambitious, but certainly something to think about. And secondly, when I said rails, I really do mean how does the money move out from one end or the other? Are you building rails directly across to OVO on the other side, or are you riding on somebody else's existing rails? Because that changes your cost dynamics quite a lot.
I think for now we are looking at basically relying on the backbone of the other people's rail. Until we get a flow, then we will build it on owned.
Okay, so then you're right. The FX margin for you will be next to nothing.
Correct.
Then the last question for me, I promise, is on the other side. If you're working with an OVO and so on and so forth, how do you ensure that you create the ability for the helper on this side to control the spending? Because OVO is not going to listen to you in terms of what their product design looks like, right?
Okay, so I think what we identify as the misuse of funds, right? So when we say we actually send to OVO, first is basically to the OVO wallet in order for them to purchase in Tokopedia, because one of the payment method for Tokopedia is OVO. So it's going to be through that for grocery shoppings and stuff. Then instead of sending money to OVO, to make all the other expenses, we actually have a partnership directly with the PLM, PDAM, and stuff to basically do the expense payout. So when we talk about OVO, it's pretty much because we don't want the money to be given to only those with bank account, and the one with bank account misuse it and don't pass it to the end users. So basically we want, like for instance, Debbie's mother have no bank account, but because she's able to have an e-wallet in OVO, the money can be directed to her straight away. On top of, like, let's say I'm not comfortable on doing so, I can make the expense payment directly on their behalf.
Okay, thank you very much, Team Transformer. You can stop sharing the slides. Thank you. We are moving on to Team No Name. Team No Name.
Hold on, I'm just going to try to share my slide.
Mayan?
Sorry. Hello, can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes.
I'm having a little trouble with the slide sharing. I'm gonna try to open this window again. Sorry for the delay, everyone. Technical issues.
Is there anyone in your team that can assist with the sharing?
All right, here we go. I'll check with the team, guys. Can anyone assist with the sharing? But let me see, it's asking me for system preferences. I'll do this very quickly. Sorry,
I will start your time now. In all fairness, I'll start your time now, please. Okay, you have 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Please start. Hello? Team No Name? You may be on mute.
Hello? Hello?
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you have 4 minutes. Please start.
All right. We're here to bring you our pitch for Social NFT, a digital community dedicated to social good. I'll be joined by my co-host on screen. Say hi to Simba and Turk, everyone. Now, we know the pandemic has been hard on many industries. Zoos, aquariums, and conservation efforts have been particularly hard hit. They attribute a large amount of their revenue to ticket sales. With movement controls, this revenue source fell significantly, but they must still continue efforts. So here's our solution. We will provide a new revenue stream for zoos and other attractions, leveraging blockchain technology and gamification to innovate the way they raise funds. We'll start off with the NFT platform. So why NFTs? Until NFTs came out, people didn't really have a way to truly own their digital assets. When you own something, you feel more connected and engaged with it because you know it's yours. We want to bring that level of engagement to the fundraising process for these attractions. So how will it work? First, collect. The player will be able to go create a collection from our library of collectibles. They can even give their cards a custom name, but please keep it PG. Then, play to earn. Once they have their cards, it's time to play. Find strangers or friends to play with and gain rewards. And lastly, trade and sell. You can trade your cards with friends or even sell one you already have to save up for your dream card. For the speculators out there, feel free to flip. Our platform will be app-based, and this is how it goes. Once you open the app, just click Get Started and you'll be able to see the full collections. As you can see here, Zunagara has a cute unicorn up for sale. You can even search for a specific card you might want. Who knows, there might be a dragon on there somewhere. You'll also be able to see the global player rankings and between you and your friends. Bragging rights are just a swipe away. Now, check out Shai Salma on the third screen. Her card is up for purchase today. You'll be able to learn more about her on the purchase page. Once you add her to your collection, you'll be able to use her card to play with others on the game. Who will our players be? We plan to initially launch in Malaysia, a country with a total population of 32.7 million people. From that total, medium to high income earners, or those who earn between 6,000 to 11,000 ringgit a month, account for 4.37 million. And we estimate that we'll be able to reach 20% of that market. While we're starting off with Malaysia as our launch market by virtue of being online, our true market is actually global. NFTs have seen significant growth in the last few years, estimated at 2.5 billion US in the first half of 2021 and growing. The total addressable market for that is more than 200 billion US. As you can see here, there are a lot of potential beneficiaries who could take advantage of our innovative approach to fundraising. Now, where do we go from here? We're currently in talks with Zunagara and Aquaria to onboard a few of their adorable charges as NFTs on the platform. We'll be onboarding more players as the days go by. From there, we'll have our soft launch, which includes feature enhancements like the crowdfunding initiative, while continuing to onboard more attractions on the platform. We will continue to study and iterate with data we've collected as we go. In the future, those NFTs will be usable in-game items. Now, we can't do this without the support of our wonderful team that you see here. We're not actually animals, you guys, but we're just as fun. So come join us and make the world a better place. Join Social NFT and be part of a digital community dedicated to social good. We welcome any questions from the judges today. Thank you.
Very good catch up. Judges?
Okay, Danny here. We've got a quick question. I guess you are doing it with the zoo is because you're going to tie in your NFT with a live animal, right? If that's the case, what happens when the animal dies?
When the animal dies,
your NFT goes to zero value or how? I don't know.
Actually, it's not going to be like they're purchasing the animal. It's more of an adoption. So it's the digital imprint, the digital identity of the animal is what we're going to have on the platform. We'll be giving frequent updates on the animal as it goes. And if it passes, then we'll have a wonderful ceremony, but they will still be playable on the platform.
Okay. Thank you.
So you're issuing out NFTs based on the animal image, or I'm trying to understand a little bit in terms of the basis of your NFT issuance.
Yes. So what we're going to do is initially it's going to be the animal image, but we plan to partner with local artists to tie up with the zoos, the aquariums, the attractions, especially conservation efforts, to make it truly unique and, well, NFTable.
Okay. And so you are going to raise an NFT with an NFT marketplace on your own app platform. And what is your asking price for this again? Please remind me.
It's 50,000 ringgit for initial investment.
Okay. And then what is the anticipated launching price of your NFT markets cards?
So we're aiming 750,000 ringgit for the
750,000 ringgit for the card suite or each card?
For the card suite.
For the card suite. And how many cards are you planning to issue that out? You know, I'm looking at your WhatsApp, right?
Yes.
Hello. Hello.
Ivan will take this question. Thank you.
Ali, I'll try to take this question. So you were asking about how many cards we are going to issue, the cost. Okay, so right now we've actually been able to dial down the cost to at least 20 to 30 ringgit if we mint the digital collectibles by ourselves. And hang on, there is a slide that we would like to show about the 50,000 transactions. Okay, so we actually plan to work with various groups, and we would like to reach at least 50,000 transactions within 1 year after launching. So that'll be 3 months launch, and then the other 9 would be go to market.
Okay, 50,000 transactions for the year. I'm still trying to understand the economics of your NFT issuance,
okay,
as well as how you intend to push it out into marketplace. Basically, essentially your business plan. I don't see it. Maybe there is a slide there that you went through too fast because you're trying to catch up. Is there a slide on your business plan and the issuance and which platform you may be thinking about using?
Okay, so ideally, yeah, that's the revenue structure.
Okay.
So I think I'll just explain the general business model. So we are a platform for advertising, but we wanted to build this platform around a company that would be able to take on different clients. So what we wanted to do was have a consulting company and partner with different organizations, tourist attractions, zoos. So our platform, this will be the first step for the adoption of new technology in creating a new revenue channel for them. So the platform, we're not actually going to have a wallet or anything. We're going to leverage our connections with other minting players or crypto wallets. So essentially, it's an online gallery for NFTs.
Okay. Understand. And you will be using people like OpenSea? How will you structure your platform? Yeah.
For OpenSea. Okay, so I think OpenSea, that would be in terms of growth so far, because we would like to be able to work specifically with, for example, Zoo Negara, because that's one of the places that we've approached. And I think just to tie in with what you asked earlier, so the first thing we're going to do for Zoo Negara is to have a digital shop. So you know how there's different memorabilia in zoos, like for example, there's those minted pennies. So these are among the items that will be available on the digital shop. So essentially sorry,
yeah, okay.
Did I finish my time? Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aiman. If you can stop sharing your screen, please. Thank you. Next, we will have Team Reach Out. Team Reach Out.
Hello.
Hello. Would you mind putting that onto presentation?
Hi.
Please.
Yeah. Can everyone read the slides?
Yes. Yes, we can.
Okay.
Your 5 minutes start now, Marcus.
Yes, actually, James will start off with the intro and the purpose. James, over to you.
Sure. So good evening all. Thanks for allowing us to present. I would like to introduce Reach Out. So the purpose of the project was to look at ways that we could improve socioeconomic standing within various markets. During the research, we came across the White Flag Malaysia initiative and considered ways that we could improve access and reach for both the donors and causes, which meant creating an improved aid and charity ecosystem that could address problems in this area. So things such as an up-to-date payment technology for donations, which would reduce infrastructure costs, creating and building a community aspect for jobs, volunteering and activity organization, as well as creating partnerships between organizations and causes to help reach mutual goals. With that, I'll pass through to Marcus, who'll give an overview of the value prop.
Hi, hello, hi. So the value proposition, we were asking ourselves, how do we stand out against the various other crowdfunding platforms out there? How are we better? And basically, we have identified 3 pillars which we believe elevate us above everyone else out there. So the first and most important one is that we actually want to focus on the donors, not just the recipients of funds, which are of course showcasing their needs on our platform, but we also want to identify donors, for example, corporates who want to engage into charity drives, as a team effort for the workforce to distribute foods to the old or needy people and so forth. And basically, this would allow us to, create a real marketplace for our platform where we can actually showcase both the recipients of funds and also the corporates who would like to have some, PR, some public profile by, being represented on our platform as donating to a worthy cause. So that was the first and most important pillar. The second pillar is that we are not just looking at monetary donations like, a lot of other crowdfunding platforms out there, but we also want to look at things like, volunteering for certain projects. For example, painting a house of an old folks home or, other worthy causes. And also services, for example, if old people needs to have nursing efforts and so forth. So it's basically not just about donating money, but also, volunteering jobs and also services. That's the second pillar. And finally, the third pillar is that we have a rigorous compliance framework in place, whereby we, of course, check both donors and beneficiaries in terms of KYC. And we also separate accounts. We create an escrow account for all the funds which we receive. So there's no intermingling of funds between our company's funds and the donation funds. And that will hopefully create some confidence among the people who work with us and who give us funds. And with this overview, I will hand over to Bruce, who will give you, a little presentation on the go-to-market roadmap, how we plan to roll out all these services. So
Thanks,
Bruce,
Marcus.
over to you.
Yep. Okay. All right. And as for the execution progress, how we want to implement our business is that on the phase 1, we believe that to reach out, right, to the recipients from the donors. So of course, we digitize these platforms. So where we look at financial aid, we look at web and app-based. So from there, then we move on to phase 2 and 3, where is the marketplace, where the first phase, phase number 2, where we want to do job marketplace, where we to provide jobs for these affected ones, and as a freelance. And as a phase 3, where they can provide their services and products in our marketplace via our platform. And that's where they can earn extra income. And last but not least, we are actually looking at phase 4. We want to do a micro lending for these recipients. They may want to do a business, they want to, and also we will do some collaboration and tie-ups. All right. And move on to the next person, Luca.
No worries, thank you. So for the purpose of extending help to those in need throughout a marketplace platform and creating profit from our initial investment, income streams will be defined in 2 sections. First one is in table, will be bank interest revenues, where 2% interest rates will be applied for the original capital held. Additionally, another stream of income will be transaction fees, whose purpose is to further increase profits as our market share increases year on year. Additionally, once we reach our full stage, we will probably add on potential expansion and revenue by using donor PR. I'll pass it on to Sarul from now on. Thank you.
Wrap it up, Sarul.
All right. ReachOut plans to create an application to assist users and people in need of help. Our platform provides extensive infrastructure for a wide range of donors and monetary transactions. ReachOut's digitalization, KYC, and ROI provides a real-time, secure, and financially stable product for organizations, communities, and most of all, the people. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, Team ReachOut. Judges?
I have a question. How exactly are you guys going to collect the funds? And once you, basically, how are you going to collect the funds and where are you going to store them?
Bruce, you want to take this or do you want me to take it?
Yep, I'll take this. Hi, Charmaine. Actually, for the funds, how are we going to do collection is actually, other than individual collections we are looking at, we're actually looking at corporate tie-ups, right, for company CSRs. So for the first part, this is actually where I will go to point in terms of donations. So also we actually want to link up with a certain part of the NGOs, right, to have a better outreach. So sometimes NGOs, they want to touch base to these affected ones in terms of those that will need a financial assistance, right? So our platform will give them a leverage. So this leverage actually will enable them to have a better reach out for, because of these recipients, right? Sometimes it's a bit difficult for them to call for help. So by registering themselves into this platform, right, then this actually will give them identity, right, to mass identity, right? This gives us a bit of privacy. So how actually reach out will go to them and provide them on this financial aid or either food aid.
So I just want to add on, you mentioned earlier in terms of your revenue projection, you are looking at the deposits level of 2% of interest, right? So what is your plan, right, in terms of like the input versus the output of the donations that, you know, you're so confident that you're going to be able to earn this level of revenue by the end of the year? Can you explain that a little bit further, please?
So therefore, as we mentioned previously, we'll be attaining our capital from mostly corporates. So therefore, at the beginning, we'll be attaining a kind of a realistic type of capital inflow. So therefore, just by being able to hold on to that certain capital for a limited time frame while we complete all of our checks, we'll be able to charge a certain market beating interest, and therefore we will be able to collect other revenues from our transaction costs between our donors and recipients. And therefore there will be therefore all the costs, including capex, and all the funding will be deducted from the revenue. And obviously, as presented in the graph, for the first 2 years there will be no profit, but as our market share increases in the future, we will be able to provide a certain satisfactory ROI. Hope that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I think just to add on here, Charmaine, I mean, that's why we are asking you for funds, right, to help us getting this started up and basically putting the ball into motion. And as you can see on this chart, as our revenue increases, we will be less and less dependent on those startup funds, but we will be able to generate that money by ourselves. And, you know, there will be two main income streams. The first one is basically the money which we have collected and which we keep in our bank accounts for some time and get, you know, an interest on this. And the second income stream will be the transaction fees, which is basically something which is, you know, at our in our control, how much basis points we charge for each transactions, and we can obviously vary that.
Yeah, Marcus, but I guess really the real question is, right, why would I actually donate to you guys, right, versus the other organization that's already out there in the market?
Yeah,
How
I mean,
convince me
yes.
to, you know, give you a large amount, large amount of money?
That's a good question. And I think that's where our USP comes into play, right? That we are actually focusing on the donors, and we are looking here at corporates who want to engage in donation drives and have a, you know, a PR profiling by virtue of these donations, and try to basically get them into our, you know, onto our platform, and then maybe have some continuous relationship with them and basically have them as our main transaction revenue drivers. Because I'm sure on the other side, in terms of those who want to have funds, there are always people. There will always be people. It's going to be easy to have cases of recipients on our side. But in terms of people who want to give, you know, that's really where we focus.
Okay, thank you, Marcus. Thank you, Team Reach Out. Moving on, we are just past the halfway back. Team Trinity.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear?
Yes, your time starts now, Eric.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We at Trinity are pleased to present to you our solution for the gig community called X-Fund, powering up your gig. Currently, 2 out of 5 Malaysians are gig workers, and that number is rising year on year by 30%. For those of us privileged enough to be in a full-time job, you have job security. But what happens if your employment status changes overnight and you become part of the gig statistics? The ever-changing landscape of the economy is forcing employers to take a hard look at their headcount and moving to a hybrid workforce with asset-light operations. Imagine if this data represents you, your family, your friends, or your relatives. 1 out of 3 do not have financial plan in hand. Your family does not have any buffer beyond 3 months worth of savings, or 2 out of 3 of your friends do not have retirement plans. These are very scary, but it's very real. Perhaps there's a hope and a solution forward. Do listen on. We would like to introduce our friend and client, Sophia. Sophia is a single mom with 2 kids. She's a freelance web developer working on a gig project as a consultant. Her job is not constant, and she continuously has anxieties over meeting her commitments over the long term. Yes, she can put food on the table today, but there's no guarantee for tomorrow. We at Trinity believe we can simplify, improve, and optimize Sophia's life and the gig community. Remember, Sophia's pain could be yours or your loved ones. Trinity proposes to focus on a specific niche market, targeting experts, professionals with higher earning capability. How are we going to do that? Through Trinity's X-Fund, the first of its kind, a gig community platform in Malaysia that addresses the pain points mentioned. This includes a savings app and budget planner to assist the immediate needs of projecting cash, which includes earned wage access. We are looking at the community platform and peer support so that Sophia and the rest of the gigs can network and elevate their visibility for future contracts and engagements moving forward. We have an advisory feature for Sophia to upgrade her technical skills, future-proof her skill sets, and ensure that she stays relevant to the market demands. As part of our go-to-market approach, it's aligned to strong strategic collaborators such as GigX Global, a gig talent agency, Sasbadi Berhad, and Policy Street. These potential partners have agreed unanimously that these are the pain points that they want to collaborate with us. More importantly, they have endorsed and validated our value proposition and are willing to go the additional step of advocating our solution, our Trinity X-Fund. Trinity will also look into other partners such as headhunters and financial advisors for market strategy. So we at Trinity feel that we have something real and promising to bring to the market. Next, we would like to share our revenue platform, which includes a subscription-based fee, which offers Sophia and the giggers a range of services, such as a community platform, Smart Saver app, as well as premium add-on features, which includes training programs and other financial products. We foresee that we can be in the black by year 3. Here, I would like to introduce to you the Trinity team of passionate people with core specialties that will turn this idea into reality. We believe that we are the first of its kind to serve the gigs, and we want you to power up with us. So let's go. Thank you.
Very good, judges.
Wait, so what are your revenue lines again on this Trinity? I know it's a functional app. I know you match people. I know you provide some kind of financial forecasting, but you don't actually bridge the key concern, which is cash flow, right?
We have a few revenue models. Our cash flow, of course, is with some seed funds in order to run the numbers. but we are also targeting first year to hit 40,000 subscriptions. So our revenue model comes from subscription, from the profit sharing with our partners, and also other deals that we put on top. And of course, we have the training programs that we are putting in together too.
Okay. And who is going to pay for this? The actual gig economy worker?
Yeah, the gig economy worker will be doing the subscription payment, but then for the other revenues and all, it will be through our partners and employers.
Okay. So let me get this right. The pain point that you identified early in the pitch was that the gig economy workers have a cash flow problem because they don't really have a stable job and a stable cash flow. So on top of that, while not providing them financing in any way, this gives them some features, but you are asking them to pay a subscription fee. So am I getting it correct?
Let me just jump in here to emphasize what Eric and the rest of our teams are doing. So you're mentioning just now about who are we charging? We are charging in two forms, being to the gigs itself, but we are also going to market with partnerships. So I think that was covered during the P&L. In terms of the access and the cash, can we go back to what Sophia is concerned about? So in the short term, she knows she's a professional, so she doesn't need the cash today, but she doesn't have the stability in terms of contracts forever because she's not a full-time employee. That means that she can market her skills, but she does not have a guarantee, let's say, for a contract beyond 12 months. This is where we believe we can come in. She's trying to put food on the table. She's juggling two kids. She's got a project that she's working on. She's worried about her bills, which she can pay now. But what happens in 3 years' time when she's a bit older? What happens if she gets sick? So what we're trying to do here is partner up to upgrade her skills. Make sure that at least she's speaking to investment planners. Make sure that she's actually checked the boxes for looking into consideration medical health insurance. This provides her a bit of a sanity check for the medium and long term while she still manages her short-term anxieties. So back to your question, I hope I kind of touched that. Her cash flow for now is still okay, but she does not have that support group that someone, let's say, who is in a full-time job would have, which is having that whole safety net. That's out of her reach right now. And she doesn't have the time to go sit with someone right now and say, hey, look, how can I help? There isn't anything in the market, which I think we were trying to emphasize, that is not there. There's no cohesive platform end-to-end that a gig worker can go to that can provide these features.
Okay. No, the reason I asked the question was quite simple. What separates a gig economy worker from a permanent staff from any other corporate, right? Which is essentially a cash flow discussion. Everybody should upgrade their skills, perm or gig, right? So the question here is, this solution, is it specifically a gig economy worker solution, or is it's a more wide-ranging one? And if it's gig economy, my question therefore is, well, okay, then you don't address the key problem, which is stability and cash flow. I think that's questionable whether or not you do.
I think when we came up with this proposition, we were looking at gig. I am not saying that this proposition and feature does not reach out to the larger market in terms of savings, in terms of healthcare. Yes, but if you were employed as a full-time person, you would have that under company coverage. For a gig worker, they do not have that unless they do it on their own private planner. So yes, we can help savings, we can help upgrade for a full-time employee, but they would have that inbuilt in most of the organizations. They would have a training department and they would have some kind of job continuity, at least for the duration of their employment.
Okay, that's all the time we have. Team Trinity, thank you. Could you stop sharing your slides, please? Moving on next, we have Team WTF for wholesome and thrifty food. When you're ready,
Thanks,
you have
Fang.
5 minutes.
Thanks, Fang. A very good evening, esteemed judges. We are honored to present to you WTF, short for Wholesome and Thrifty Food. Here, we empower everyone to fight food waste by buying wholesome and thrifty food at the tap of a finger.
So here's the problem. Malaysians dispose of 4,000 tons of edible food daily. This can feed up to 2.2 million people 3 meals a day. In fact, the average Malaysian household throws away 225 ringgit worth of food a month. This can buy up to 7 bags of 10 kg rice. This food waste then goes to the landfill and decomposes, producing methane, contributing to global warming. I mean, what the? So we at WTF present to you our solution, an app that connects F&B merchants to customers and NGOs or charity homes. We enable customers to purchase surplus food at an affordable price for self-consumption or to donate purchased food to any of our partner beneficiaries because we believe that no one should go hungry.
Here is our business model. In essence, we connect our key strategic partners, which are F&B merchants, beneficiaries, and delivery service providers to customers, donors, and sponsors. Our app is essentially a mobile application that both available on Android and iOS, as well as on the internet, will connect all these stakeholders together. In terms of our decisions to provide customers with wholesome, affordable food, help merchants reduce losses on surplus food, and help expand reach of donors, sponsors to NGOs and charities at the same time.
We analyzed the landscape and found that our peers include Green Hero, What a Waste, Grace Market, the Lost Food Project, and Pasar Ground. Green Hero offers surplus food, fruits, and veggie on an internet platform. What a Waste has an app to offer surplus food. However, the only food choice is from one bakery. The Lost Food Project gives surplus food, fruits, and veggie to charities. On the other hand, Grace Market and Pasar Ground sell surplus fruits and veggie as well as made-to-order meals. While our peers also focus on sustainable development goals, we realized that with our business model, we will make our mark as the only one in the Malaysian market to connect key partners to customers and beneficiaries seamlessly through an app to channel a good variety of surplus food.
So here's how to use our app. First, download and register, then choose if you want to buy or donate a meal. Second, for buyers, you can select your order, while for donors, you can select the beneficiaries you want and the type of food you want to send them. And lastly, pay at an affordable price for your order.
Our go-to-market strategy is to first identify our target customers and merchants in our problem statement and our solution. We start by targeting busy professionals, students, and those who share our values and passion in the Klang Valley. We will form strategic partnerships with F&B merchants, delivery vendors, and NGOs. We will maximize all social media channels. And when our app and a website is ready, we will able to onboard 5 merchants. We launch the business. And subsequently, in our growth strategy, we aim to attract, engage, and retain customers through various marketing activities.
So this is our journey showing you our targeted milestone in the medium term. Our aim is to be the go-to platform in Malaysia to channel surplus food to those in need and institutionalize our business model with NGOs, charities, as well as large corporations.
Right. This is our 5-year financial forecast. We will grow the business volume steadily with very attractive pricing and taking a very modest markup. While we're scaling up, we will increase our resources, but we will keep an eye on the expenses. The net profit before tax is good, except for year 1, which is our startup year. We have also covered our sensitivity studies, which show our business model is sustainable.
WTF is proud to be pioneered by a team of professionals who have a combination of almost 100 years of working experience, covering 10 industries and 12 countries. In closing, we invite you to join us in this journey to fight food waste Buy wholesome and thrifty food at the tap of a finger. Thank you. We welcome your question, judges.
Very good. Straight into the judges' questions.
I have a question. How are you handling logistics? Or you just solely a platform that you connect with basically the partners that you mentioned, and I expect them to deliver the food?
Yes, that will be on slide 13. Chibun, would you like to take that slide?
Yeah, sure. Yes, to answer your question, Jermaine. So we don't intend to maintain our own delivery group. So that would mean that we will have a delivery partner. Neither the restaurant would have to maintain their delivery resources as well. So the restaurant will be focusing on delivering their food and beverages, while we will have a logistic partner API linked to logistic partner out there to handle the logistic services.
Sorry, I may have missed it earlier. So what does the food partner or your F&B partner gets out of this?
That will be on slide
14. Yeah, so basically this refers to the surplus food, right? So whereby if these are not sold from our merchant, this food will be then spoiled or be thrown away to the landfill and be rot. So what our partners will be getting out of this is essentially increased sales by monetizing products that would otherwise be thrown away.
Yeah, but that doesn't, okay, so for example, right, if you go to like any cafes, say maybe Starbucks, right, their sandwiches actually has a expiry date, correct? And they're not allowed to even like donate the food or sell the food when it comes, basically when it's actually after its expiry date, for the fear of causing health issues to whoever has actually ate the food. So how do you address this?
Yeah, we are not selling expired food together. So these are all the edible foods that, as what you have rightly pointed out, if it is not being marketed by the end of the day, could have been resulted in this food being thrown away. So these are still edible, unexpired food.
Yes, maybe if I could add, just a quick add. On our first 5, we are aiming to have a simple type of meals like bread, instead of like sandwiches who has like
daily products.
Yep, on them. So that would be our starting point before we scale up on other types of food presented in either, if there's no COVID, what do you call this? The meals in the hotels and restaurants, and other examples.
Okay.
Okay, I have a question. So I understand the concept is around sending out food at the end of the day, just before you close shop, or this food that you won't bring forward to the next day because your customers expect a certain level of quality. I get that. I'd like to understand about logistics. How would you get this food out to those who are in need and those who want it?
Jasmine, sorry, are you referring to those who buy from a platform or those charitable houses that we intend to also contribute to?
So I assume those who buy, they would be having it on Lalamove or
correct, yeah,
or
that's right.
yes.
And we partner with the third-party logistic company.
Yeah, so
handle that.
Have you worked that out into your cost and the potential of, and how do you match the location? Because sometimes it's not cost friendly to send very far.
In terms of operational process, we will connecting with the API of the system of logistic company. In terms of the cost, we'll hand over to Hong.
Sorry, I didn't get you in the last sentence.
I said in terms of operational process, so we're connecting API with logistic company directly in terms of operational and delivery of the food. Yeah, and for your question about the costs.
Yeah, basically all costs are already factored in our financial forecast. We have a slide earlier that presented the revenue and profit, and that has already taken into consideration of the maintenance of the system.
Okay, so you factored in costs in terms of distance, because unless your API is also geo.
Yes. So
Thanks.
exactly. So we intend to incorporate the geolocation via, for example, Google Map and Places API. And to begin with, we don't intend to go very aggressive. The idea is that to start it out, the delivering services will be confined to perhaps 1 or 2 major towns within Klang Valley before we get to expand it further within, say, for example, cover the entire Klang Valley, and thereafter major cities within Malaysia, and thereafter the entire Malaysia for that matter.
Okay, thank you very much, Shibum and WTF team. Identity Vault, you're up next. When you're ready, please share your screen. Team Identity Vault. Brilliant. I'll wait for you to. Okay, you got 5 minutes when you're ready.
Okay, thank you, Fang, and good evening, everyone. I'm Jessica, and together with me, we have Sutta, Jeremy, Felicia, Ivy, and Ravi. We are Team 5 and going to present to you Identity Vault moving towards a Unify Ekyc. Without further ado, let's begin with why Unify Ekyc. So as we all know, the global pandemic has led to disrupted human interactions and limited human resources. Hence, it has affected the capabilities of institutions to successfully carry out effective KYC for its customers. This has prompted the financial and non-financial institutions to digitalize their products and services. As a result, the eKYC adoption has increased in tandem. eKYC allows businesses to verify their customers digitally and eliminate the need for physical verification. However, we see further opportunity to make this process more efficient and seamless to both customers and businesses, as there are some inconveniences that arose due to the eKYC process. Moving on to the next slide. The eKYC models dictate that every user is subjected to the same stringent and lengthy KYC process for each account opening or transactions. It is a hassle for people if they have multiple services to register. We found that people are doing repetitive KYC for different financial institutions or service providers. So let's look at the real life cases. Amy is facing challenges with eKYC process because it took more than 3 weeks to sort out all the necessary for her account verification. So for John, he is experiencing rejection from being approved because the poor quality of his identity card photo. Since it is a very inconvenient and time-consuming process, he decided not to have an account with Luno. Ladies and gentlemen, based on the scenarios, we see that the customer expected the eKYC process could be hassle-free, faster, and time-saving. Moving on to the next slide. So with all the problems faced by people, Identity Vault is going to bring you a unified eKYC. Let's look at how it works. So we have a consumer called Ninja. When Ninja is opening an account with Bank A, he provides the data by filling out the personal data forms. Then Identity Vault collects all the data and performs verifications on the documents together with biometric information such as face and voice scan. Name screening will be performed as part of a CDD. Once the information is verified, Identity Vault will store the data in the cloud database. So when Ninja wants to open an account with Bank B and Bank C, the banks will obtain the data from Identity Vault with the consent of Ninja. This helps to avoid Ninja from repeating the same process, and at the same time, helps the bank to improve the KYC processing time. So the next slide will show our go-to-market strategy. For our go-to-market strategy, Identity Vault will initially target the smaller financial and non-financial institutions, such as small e-wallet players, brokerage firms, and credit providers. As Identity Vault grows its customer base and capabilities from serving the small players, we will be poised to get the target larger institutions. Our revenue channels will consist of licensing membership fees for use of the platform, variable charges based on the numbers of eKYC accounts requested from our customers, advertising revenue to our customers base, and merchant discount rate through cross-selling of the service with partners. So in brief, with a unified eKYC, Identity would help both to address the customer pain point as well as improve the institution's eKYC experience. I will close the presentation with a final remark. We believe you only live once, you only do once. That's all for today, and thank you.
Good job, Jessica. Judges?
Yeah, hi Jessica. It's a nice presentation. So a number of clarifications. First one, the Identivolt leverages off an initial eKYC by existing institutions such as a bank. Is that how it works, or is it a separate app whereby consumers download it and then go through a comprehensive eKYC such that you can go and reuse the KYC across multiple institutions? What's your starting point?
Yeah, let me answer this. The starting point is actually, we are actually a third party itself that holds the identity, the information of the users itself. Then with the consent of the consumer, we will share it with the different institution.
Yep. So what is the incentive for the customer to go through this with you specifically? That's one. Two, why wouldn't a bank just do this on their own? Because the bank would have then onboarded the customer and then use their, create an eKYC as a service capability, given that Malaysia is actually quite ripe for it. I think you spotted a good trend and a good opportunity. But if I were Maybank, for example, and Charmaine is laughing away, if I were Maybank, I would say, hey, you know what? I've got a majority of Malaysians on that done KYC on. I create an eKYC API so that other bank institutions can trust Maybank's KYC process and move on with that. Why would Identity Vault become a player in this space?
So I can take this. Calvin, you're spot on by highlighting that point that no one is going to think about eKYC before they apply for any product. So our approach is actually a two-pronged approach in the sense that whoever that we are partnering with would have this function where it allows its customers through the national process application to do the eKYC. Now, what we offered, which is different from existing players right now that we observe, is when someone does the eKYC process, that becomes an eKYC profile and identity that will be stored. Now, the whole idea is, as Jessica pointed out, you only do this once and you don't have to do this repeatedly when you apply for multiple products. Now, to your second question, why aren't banks already doing it? So there's a couple of advantages for a bank to outsource this as a service. One is, in the eKYC process, you still have to do your customer screening and your sanction screening and so on, and that will cost money as well. So through the economics of scale, we believe that this will be a more cost-efficient module for a bank to adopt. So really, it's a volumes game, and financial institutions can benefit from that.
Interesting. Sudha, my thoughts are slightly different, right? If a bank, let's say Maybank, has already onboarded the customer, has already incurred the cost of onboarding the customer, including sanction screening and AML, they could look at it as a way of monetizing that particular cost, right? And say, hey, let me spread out the cost to multiple people. I will charge every other bank or every other institution 10 cents for accessing this data or this KYC process for me. So not so much that you outsource the KYC. Perhaps one thing to think about in my mind is that you build the stack and offer it as a technology service to whichever organization wants to provide this capability. But in and of itself, if you create an app and hope people will download it and go through the KYC process, what is the hook here?
We take note of that feedback, Kevin and Calvin, sorry. And it is meant to be a B2B business. And I think what we'll explore is, or to enhance this go-to-market strategy, is to make this as a third-party service for banks and offering the best-in-class capabilities, especially on improved false authentic rates and whatnot. So that's probably something that we can offer to banks so that this will be a managed service on their end.
Actually, I want to add on to Calvin's question. So seeing that I'm from Maybank, right? So what's in it for me, honestly?
Hi, Chairman. Yeah. So what's in it for you is a couple of things. One is you don't have to build your eKYC solution, your end-to-end eKYC solution. This would be something that wouldn't be a headache for you. And second, as I mentioned, is from a cost point of view, because although you do a eKYC from the application stage, you still have to do ongoing EDD for short, ongoing due diligence. And if we are serving multiple banks and if we have the volume and scale in place, this might be a more cost-efficient process, something that Maybank can potentially benefit from.
No, for example, if I'm already doing this, right, why it's like what Kelvin mentioned, right? Why would I want to switch out to you guys and actually use your solution rather than me doing it myself?
Yeah. So the whole idea is the benefit is for the user if they want to apply to different institution. So say I want to open an e-wallet account with Grab, or I want to open a brokerage account with Interactive Broker, for example. They just have to do it once, and it's not once per institution, it's once forever, right? So if let's say if this model is siloed per institution, that benefit to a customer is not fully utilized. For example, I might apply for a banking account with Maybank, I might apply for a loan with CIMB. Do I have to do eKYC twice? We believe no. You only live once, you do it once.
I think, Sudha, you're right. My challenge is if I were Maybank, I would say, you know what? I've already done it. Here's the API for eKYC validation. So when Sudha opens an account with Grab or with CIMB or take something else, CIMB pings my API, gets my verification, and then move on, right? The CIMB doesn't have to go through the eKYC process again. So Sudha doesn't have to go through it again, but Maybank already has so many people on their database that it makes a lot of sense for them to monetize it. They'll charge CIMB 10 cents as opposed to $2.
And
So
to
what,
add on, right, this is
where
just
is your
Kelvin
API?
from. Sorry, Kelvin, you can introduce it in your banking as a
Sorry,
service.
Charmaine.
Right?
Okay, last question.
Last few. Yeah.
Last question from me. I'd like to understand one other thing. For eKYC to be accepted at any institutional level, whether it's financial or otherwise, especially financial, it has to be acknowledged on a government level. So how is your government engagement? Is there a slide on that one?
Yes, there is. It's part of the appendix. So yeah, you're rightly pointed out, we will be collaborating with the various.
So I have a question here. Now, in collaboration with all these agencies, until today, they're not even able to collaborate with the electoral roll. What makes you think that you will be able to convince them to come on board and, well, validate your KYC platform?
Yeah, good question there, Jasmine. In all honesty, our first collaboration will be with Bank Negara because AML requirements is governed under them. That will be the first step that we will take to ensure that whatever solution that we provide, especially with the question on data ownership, would have to be resolved with BNM. I don't have an answer with regards to the other government agencies, but that will be something that we will definitely consider moving forward.
Okay, thank you, Team Identity Vault. Moving on, we have Team 6. Team 6.
Hello.
You might want to put that into presentation.
Oh, hold on, yeah. Actually, okay. Okay, is it better now?
Yes. Okay. Your time starts now. 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Hello, guys. I'm Jessica, another Jessica from Team 6 Sanjam Berhad, a management consulting company for the public sector. And as you can see, like repetitive identification processes have to run multiple agencies just to get one thing done, various login for, multiple access, and we always have to worry about privacy breach. I trust many of you can actually resonate to this, even more so during the pandemic. Government agencies tend to, build their own databases and work in silo, and this results to inefficiency and ineffective cost management. And also, bumpy users experience plus duplication of efforts. Looking at Estonia, the world's most advanced digital society, it has integrated the existing IT infrastructure of the public sector into a shared pool of resources to improve the efficiency of public services, data privacy, etc. And zooming back to Malaysia, we Team 6 Sendram Berhad actually sees opportunities in this, and we would like to propose a pilot project to the government. We suggest to reintroduce and upgrading MySejahtera as a national digital ID super app, and also it will serve as a centralized, unified and integrated database for all public and private services. According to Malaysia Digital Blueprint led by Mampu, they envision that by 2025, 80% of the government services will be online, and full adoption of the national digital ID and subsequently digital signature are inevitable. Sabah will be our first pilot state, and the state's e-wallet Sabah Pay will be the delivery partner to push for this adoption. Sabah Pay State's digital ID department and MySejahtera will share databases to cross-check and verify the identity of Sabahans via IDEMIA Ekyc process. So once it is confirmed, a digital ID cert will be produced and saved in the blockchain layer. This will ensure that ID is securely stored, tamper-proof, and Sabahan have some sort of data ownership at the end of the day. And as you can see, there's like a future brackets here, MyGDS and PayNet. This would be something that we are looking at as well in the future. From users' perspective, it is rather easy for existing MySejahtera or Sabah Pay user to onboard and register for their digital ID. They just need to scan the ID, thumbprint, wait for approval, and once it is approved, they will get their unique QR code. People will have instant access to multiple services from the comfort of their home afterwards. Other than incentive, we'll produce curated content pieces with specific languages to cater to the locals, to educate the locals. In our 5-year plan, we identify 3 phases for the adoption in Sabah. Phase 1 will run a technical assessment and identify respective players to establish a special task force with highly mobilized focus group to tackle different tribes, so villages and areas. Data integration and migration will happen at phase 2 together with the marketing rollout. Phase 3 is where we expand the ecosystem and onboard other stakeholder, private or public services in the state for integration. We will first looking to target at the existing user of MySejahtera and Sabah Pay, and then to capture the non-users in the future. Undocumented and stateless community definitely at the later stage, so the government can better manage a community. We want to onboard a total of 80% of MySejahtera's registered users in Sabah. Here are the investment needed by the government. So basically it's IDEMIA Ekyc solution and the management consulting fee and together with the simple blockchain integration fee, as well as some of the on-ground execution. But good thing is we actually save and leverage on existing infrastructures or system of MySejahtera and Sabah Pay together with the existing rural development task forces in Sabah. And this is how the future looks like for Sabah together with the Smart Initiative program. It will not only benefit the local hardcore poor and B40 families, but also the stateless and undocumented community too. They will get a temporary ID, so they could have like certain access to basic needs such as education, financial services, work opportunity, credit scorecard. It's not just to them. The B40 families or hardcore poor will be able to access to this too. Sabah Pay in the future could actually offer microfinancing, credit scorecard, and all this, in line with the state's Smart Sabah initiative. And here's our winning team with expertise in digital transformation, in blockchain, change management, audit, and marketing. We trust that we are the right team to consult and assist the government to achieve a digitized nation in the next 5 to 10 years. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jumping straight into the questions. Judges.
Hi, Jessica, I have a question. You say you're going to leverage on MySejahtera app, right? How does your team plan on doing that? And what makes you think that they will actually award the project to you guys, as opposed to them doing it themselves?
Oh, hold on. So Anyone want to take this? No. Okay.
I will take this. My name is Kang Soon from Team 6. Essentially, first, we have to buy in from the government, state government, because the state government of Sabah wants to launch a Smart Sabah initiative and using its own Sabah Pay as their e-wallet. So with the help of the state government, we use the state government to also negotiate with central government, which their votes are very critical. Sabah's votes is very, very critical for. We can use this as a political mileage to get their buy-in for that. Thank you.
But you do know that technically MySejahtera does not really belong to the government, right? There is a tech company that's actually behind this, who's actually built the app.
Yes, but it is the owner of this particular MySejahtera. It belongs to the government with the government logo in there. So I believe some form of negotiations can be discussed with them, and with Sabah government, state government, and also federal government. I believe the vendor, which Charmaine you refer to, we could come to some form of consensus. Thank you.
Yeah, my question would be riding on what Charmaine is saying. Whatever you're proposing now, why can't MySejahtera themselves do it themselves? I mean, they can talk to IDMA, etc. Do you know that MySejahtera Itomo has over 300 programmers in their team?
Well, yeah, because you see, the thing is that the federal government is too busy with all this fighting of the pandemic and stuff like that.
No, MySejahtera team is not the federal government. The private entity that builds and maintains the application.
Sorry,
Yes.
Maybe I can chip in a little bit.
Right.
I think it's because I think mainly it's because of our unfair advantage. Basically, we have already been talking to several government agencies, and we also know that in the future, basically soon like PayNet and MyGDS is basically going to have like a centralized database for PayNet is actually for the financial services centralized database, and while MyGDS is going to be going to have like a central database for all the government agencies moving forward. So but right now, because it's still at a very initial phase, and I don't really see that they have like a specific plans for pilot or whatsoever. So it is not feasible for us to just roll out everything on a national level. So first, we actually think that why not we roll up in a smaller scale in Sabah. And the reason why we choose Sabah as a pilot is because first thing, Sabah is actually known as a state to have like most undocumented and stateless population. So it is already a very tedious process on this. Second thing, it's a poor state in Malaysia. So we have about 20% of the people in Sabah actually in the poverty line income calculation based on 2019. And
Jessica, let me stop you there. That wasn't my question. My question is why MySejahtera can do whatever you're doing. Why would they need you to be involved? I mean, they can work with Sabah government and
they don't have the direct access as we do. So we could be the management consulting company.
You're saying you're politically linked to Sabah government that MySejahtera doesn't have.
I don't feel like that lah. Yeah. So
if that's your proposition, then I have nothing else.
Okay, sorry. Let me re-answer this. So basically, we actually have been the consultant for the Sabah government previously, and we do have access to that lah. And we have been we are actually the consultant for certain digital transformation programs in Sabah State.
I wish you good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Team 6, with strong connections to the Sabah government. If you don't mind stopping the share of your screen, we'll move on to Receiptify. Receiptify.
Hello and good evening. Can you hear me? And can you see my screen?
We can, but you might want to put that in the presentation.
Yeah, just give me a second. How about now?
Yes, your 5 minutes starts now.
So good evening, everyone. We are Team Receiptify, and we are trying to empower people with the receipts, through receipts. So first, let's start with the problem. I think it's very obvious. Even I see some other people trying to solve the same problem we have here. So first thing, you know, those annoying paper receipts like we have. So it can get lost. It's very difficult to manage. It has very bad impact on the environment, and usually those receipts are coated with toxic materials, which is bad for our health. Also, some receipts can get faded over time. So the solutions we are trying to provide here is first thing to manage both your digital and paper receipts. So it's not just paper receipt, but also your digital receipts, especially now with e-commerce and people buy a lot of things through e-commerce. Second thing is to digitize your existing paper receipts or whatever paper receipts you still receive. And third thing is the analytics. So to have insights on your spending behavior and your financial. And for the other side, the merchant is first thing, they don't have to use paper receipts anymore. They don't have to print, and they can save money on that and also can become green. And third thing is to help them communicate with customers, because usually their relationship ends at the end of the transaction. We don't want this anymore. We want for especially brick and mortar kind of shop to continue have a relationship with their customers. So how this going to work? So first thing, we're going to collect the data sources will be, first one is the merchant POS system. So we can provide SDK and APIs to integrate with those POS systems, as well as manually scanning paper receipts, which do not have integration. Third one is through the email, we can collect the digital receipts through few ways. And each receipt we digitize or have it in our platform, it's going to be on the blockchain. So that will help us in terms of the authenticity of the receipt. Is this receipt true? Or if the government want to check or do auditing on a receipt, or if your company want to check if this receipt is real or valid, they can always check it on the blockchain. Peter?
Okay, so now let's talk about market validation. So based on our research with the Malaysian demographics, about 70.4% of people keep their receipts for tax purposes, and 79.1% of people do not store the receipts in any digital form. 87.9% of people do not properly sort their receipts, and 63% of businesses have problems managing their receipts. Next slide. And we have calculated the TAM, the total addressable market is approximately 604.8 million ringgit for the Malaysian country, based on the post terminals available. And this is the business model that we would like to start off with, which is basically our revenue stream from merchants via subscription fees and consumers as well with subscription fees, and together with partners that we can provide credit cost services for BNP-like services with companies, where we can help in also deliver data from unbanked people who is using cash as payment. I pass it on to Beckham.
So this slide depicts very clearly our competition and us pitched head-to-head against one another in terms of features, with Receipt being the lowest and Receptify having the most features. To elaborate further, the only common distinct feature apart from digital receipts that all three solutions have in common is a marketing tool. Use of our own platform, including mobile apps and websites, as a means of communication between retailers and consumers. Following which, the only other two features between all receipts and Receptify is our use of a loyalty program that to keep retailers incentivized, and software integration by existing point of sale systems that creates convenience for retailers. Receptify boasts the most number of features, notably our use of blockchain to store receipts, all for reliability and trustworthiness, values held high in transactions and auditing. The use of blockchain is one of the key factors in the fintech value of Receptify, provides accurate and reliable data, and Receptify also provides financial analysis to consumers and retailers the types of, based on the types of products being traded and give them greater insight into their own financials. Such data can be further developed in the credit scoring, especially targeting those who only use cash and those who are unbanked. So it provides a more accurate credit score for BNPL companies and big financial institutions. We are Team 40, and thank you for your time.
Straight into the questions. Very good. Judges?
Can I have a look at your business case again? How are you going to monetize?
So the business model comes from three possible streams. So we have first one is the merchant, the second one is the users, and the third one is the partners. So merchants are they can subscribe, and by this subscription they have access to a digital receipt. We can provide them with a loyalty program. So it depends on the package they select, and then we can give them a way for them to send messages or announcement or send coupons or anything they like to communicate with their customers.
And how would you entice the users to come onto your platform?
So because this is a real problem and receipts a real problem, and I think everybody I spoke to, or also when we done an online survey, like say, like, you know, when like really why this exists today, like why when I go, for example, to buy a donut, why I need a receipt, but it is a proof of transaction. And in many cases, when you want to do claims or for tax purposes, or if you are running a business and you are a Serdian Berhad or private limited company, you are required to keep the receipts for auditing purposes, and managing those receipts and, you know, keeping them in files, and as the problem I explained earlier, it's really a pain point. And I think that problem alone will incentivize the users to use the application, and also to understand their financial, how they are spending their money. And the app would be free, but for certain users who are heavy users, who, let's say, scam or more than 500 receipt amounts, maybe we will charge those. And the third one is we will provide some sort of a credit score. So this will help the unbanked and the underbanked, who maybe do not have a bank account or do not have a credit card, to have a financial access. So because of that, we can give an API to those financial institutes or P2P lending services, and they can make a request and check.
Thank you, Homan. What are your numbers? When do you anticipate to break even?
Actually, to be honest with you and completely frank, we didn't do that study yet. We don't know for sure. We just started with this idea, and we still have a long way to figure that out.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, judges? Okay, thank you very much, Team Receptify.
Thank you.
Moving on, last two teams. Team Checkmate. Your 5 minutes, are you ready? Team Checkmate. Team Checkmate, are you there? You may be on mute. Team Checkmate, anyone from Team Checkmate?
Sorry, I think our team member is having his mic on mute. Yep, hold on.
Who will be representing Team Checkmate for this?
Zhiming is presenting, but I think he's solving his issue with mic.
I'm going to start the time now to be fair. Anybody else want to step in while Chonjin is sorting out his mic?
It's fine. I think I'll step in for Zhiming. So we're Team Checkmate. Our business here is to provide users with the ability to keep track of their own medical records, right? And ultimately to link them up with various insurance companies so that they're able to purchase the right insurance premium for them. So this is a problem statement that we're having on hand now. Through survey, we identify that there are a lot of people that do not, or in an organized manner, do not keep their medical records on hand. And they're most likely lying somewhere in their C drive or in the physical copy. So we are looking for first to provide a solution, which is to centralize all their medical records. Next, please. And over here, this is the full flow of our product. Once the user is able to upload their medical records, either through OCR technology or through voice technology, or even through self-input where they can able to scan or even to key in their own medical historical records there, we are able to process the data by decluttering all the not so essential information of their, let's say, their medical checkup results. And over there, once we're able to track their history, medical history and health statuses, we're able to use this to engage in our partners, which is most likely the insurance providers in Malaysia, to come up, generate a different kind of plan to be able to serve this uninsured or underinsured demographic. Right, so the business model.
Jin, would you like me to take over from here?
Yep, go ahead.
All right, hi, Susanna here. We're going to talk about Checkmate intends to use free data collected from user to power its algorithm. To generate revenue, the data collected can be sold in the form of targeted advertising to businesses, partnership deals, sale of data analytics, and user subscription if available on desktop and mobile phones. Our future plan is to build a data warehouse, i.e. blockchain, to develop phase 2 of our concept, phase 2 of our plan, which will allow users to benefit from lower pricing for customized insurance products, leveraging on data analytics from Checkmate black box rather than price-based insurance products developed by insurance carriers' data and off-the-shelf products. It will also allow lower pricing consumer products based on our user needs. Example, bulk purchase of medication or equipment, development of healthy lifestyle packages. We also plan to develop our own Checkmate Pay e-payment gateway, which will allow end-to-end user experience. Can somebody move this slide? Okay, so our revenue stream will be basically this. Can we move on to the next slide, please? Next slide. Next slide. Any Malaysian citizen can have access to Checkmate. Checkmate does not target healthy or unhealthy individuals, nor does it segregate physically challenged individuals with normal individuals. We are aware of the need to address the following regulators in Malaysia: Sovereign Act, database located in Malaysia for Malaysians only. PDPA, data belongs to individuals. We are keen only on the data analytics from our user base. We are also aware that Bank Negara Malaysia would be regulating our online platform. There may be other regulators, but for the purpose of our pitch today, we address only the ones mentioned. Next, please. Next slide. Referring to our proposition of keeping your medical history at your fingertips from womb to tomb, these are the value propositions. Next slide. Okay, where are we? So the single-minded, the slide before, please. Yeah, thanks. Referring to our convenience as it's available 24/7. Sorry, we are on slide. Easy accessibility, create lasting. Okay, easy accessibility at your fingertips, user-friendly and creativity. Next 2 slides, please. Yeah, here. Yeah. Okay, next slide. Based on our analysis, CheckMate is the only solution provider in the Malaysian market to provide OCR input and voice input. Furthermore, it's free to user for basic features. No other provider offers the advantage of low prices to user for health and equipment, including insurance products. We see CheckMate as being able to contribute to the health and medical ecosystem, as it will serve not only value to users, but be responsive to the needs and values of the medical and health ecosystem. Lastly, CheckMate will stay with you forever. And here are our teammates, Ziming, Tay Ziming, Sean Jin, myself, and Yin Jia.
Okay.
Now
thank
we're
you very
open to
much.
questions. Sorry, we missed out the few first few
Questions,
slides.
please.
Yeah, I think we're not very clear in terms of the business model. And also, do you or have you prepared a product roadmap in terms of how you're going to expand the service?
Yeah, okay. So if we're looking at the business model, we intend, well, it's free to user. So for basic features, it's free to user, but for any additional features that they take up, they will have to pay a subscription. And the idea is for our free data to power up our CheckMate algorithm, obviously.
Sorry, Suzanne,
and then using that data.
Revenue?
No, we didn't have the opportunity to build that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We intend to sell the data to targeted ads to businesses, where we're going to generate income from there as well. And okay, so basically,
how are you going to sell the data if you don't have a business model?
Say that again. How
are you going to sell the data if you don't have a business model? How would you know that, your first, second, or third year, whether you're profiting or actually losing money?
Essentially, what we plan to do, well, the idea of creating the medical history is to offer easy access on how you upload your medical receipts and as well as medical information. That is the original objective of CheckMate. And with that, if we offer a basic feature, essentially the feature will be very basic. It could be black and white, but as you want to have the feature enhanced with colors, etc., that's where you buy subscription to pay on to add on the colors.
So Susanna, don't get me wrong. I think this is quite a good idea, but it's just that we want to understand, right? How is your business going to be sustainable if you were to launch this in the market? So I guess, that's why we want to understand in terms of like, what is your business projection?
Okay, first, I guess if we maybe I'll just start a little bit where Jin started. The idea basically is that, we know individuals want to keep a diary of events, right? But to embark on such a journey, they must keep notes, records, photographs, videos, etc. So they use various methods to store this information. Worst case, documents are thrown. What if there was a tool to help individuals keep records so easy to use that it saves them time, allowing them to store medical history before development? Actually, we are using the analogy from womb to tomb. In other words, you keep your medical history even before anything is created. You can start creating your records. Just picture a family who's starting a family and they want to keep pictures of their gynae receipts and records and create a history out of that for the child. Another example would be for caregivers, for example. As you know, caregivers take care probably of physically challenged individuals and who are very dependent on caregivers. One of the surveys that we did with these caregivers was that she had a lot of medical history kept over the many years, but she kept it on her desktop. So the point here is, if we had such a simple system where you upload your receipts and records via OCR or voice input, then the job is done very quickly at your fingertips. That's the idea. We are looking at, so here, if you look at the target market, not only the caregiver will be needing this particular platform, but so will the physically challenged individual. So, and any physically challenged individual can use this particular platform because it's very user friendly. I hope I answered your question.
Okay, thank you, Team Checkmate. Moving on to our last team, if you can stop sharing your screen, that'll be great. Team Commune. Team Commune.
Okay.
Your 5 minutes start now.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Team Commune's proposal for a way of connecting women for better financial empowerment. So let me tell you a little bit about how this project began. We were inspired by an existing program that's run in Hong Kong called Enrich Hong Kong, where domestic helpers are given financial literacy training, as well as entrepreneurial skills workshops to enable them to get out of the rut of being in debt and be able to save for the future. We found that this is actually a very common problem, as well as an opportunity to address, given that there are many women who actually are lacking in financial literacy skills. So, for example, Lena is a housewife with 2 kids, and she has a side business making, snacks to sell. But then she's on a cyclical cycle where she's feeling a bit defeated and dejected when the business is not doing well. And sometimes when she sees that her friends are doing well, or buying the latest, fashion accessory, she jumps on board and does the same without being very conscious about what her needs and wants are and what her family's budgeting needs are. So what we've realized is that in the market currently, there isn't a lot of resources for women and for entrepreneurial women. So we looked around the Southeast Asian market and we shortlisted a few countries. And what we found was Indonesia could be a potential prime market for us to get into. Reason being that with a financial literacy score, it's 2 points lower than the Southeast Asia average. The government mandate for financial literacy has come relatively late, only in 2013. So in contrast, or just comparison, Singapore started its financial literacy work in 1960s. So what we believe is that financial literacy and how a country develops and evolves economically, the two goes hand in hand. Indonesia is a market that is very unique in that they are the largest mobile e-commerce market in the world. There's a huge percentage of people that are transacting and using mobile as their prime commerce platform. So to sum up, we want to target and help women to have the financial literacy skills as well as the entrepreneurial skills. So our solution is a commune business, which educates women to create, manage, and grow their business better through gamification, through having a community on this app, and also mentoring. So how are we going to onboard these women. So this solution is free to join, and we want to make games that are fun and intuitive and relevant to their day-to-day. So when they get up the levels of playing this game, they're gonna win more points, and that unlocks more resources for which they can turn to. The community will offer ongoing support, as well as a Q&A kind of platform forum that kind of brings these women together. And mentorship is also proven to be very effective in kind of guiding these women in building their businesses. So this is something that we want to offer. We want them to be better at managing their finances for sure, and improve their financial literacy. So how are we going to get this started? Our funding would be mainly from grants, donations, and fundraising. We want to have a very strong board of directors who can get us the funding, as well as CSR partnerships with large corporates. For example, even investment banks that are kind of in that space of improving financial literacy in the region. To reach out to these women, we want to partner with government agencies that are tasked with financial literacy. We want to reach out to these women through digital marketing on channels and platforms that they are already, that already has their eyeballs. And last but not least, a partnership through other NGOs who might be also working with families. So this is Team Commune that has been brought together by the common interest of improving financial literacy and inclusion. And we thank you and look forward to your support and big fat checks. Thank you.
Very good. Judges, questions?
I didn't see your business model. Is there one?
Our business model is first building the app, and then a gamification of the financial information, and then through that kind of evolve to perhaps offline events and mentoring.
Then how do you ensure the sustainability of this effort?
Through the quality of what we offer and through the grants and donations that we have.
So then this is more a CSR project.
It is.
And how do you then intend for the women to be able to earn off this? Just by entrepreneurship? Is that the main concept?
The main concept is a combination of managing their finances better, and also on with the overarching theme of entrepreneurship. So what we've discovered through talking to people who are those target customers is that a lot of women are tasked with managing their finances. They manage it, but what happens is for the first 2 weeks, they're spending it all on, we can eat well. And then by the 4th week, they're eating congee. So they are managing it, but they're not managing it well. So this boils down to, how late the financial literacy programs in that country has come in, only in 2013. So the people who are from like 25 years old and above, they never actually had any substantial training or concepts of, how to manage their finances, how to plan for retirement, et cetera, et cetera. So we feel that there is a huge gap there that needs to be addressed.
I understand that, but in helping them become financially aware and therefore financially more strategic and responsible, what are the activities? 1, 2, if there is no business model in terms of sustainability, how will you manage and maintain the team that's going to be managing this behind the scenes? So I like the concept, I like the idea, I'm all in for women empowerment, but how do you ensure sustainability? Because when you have a platform and you're successful, God forbid, you don't have the money to carry on because the grant didn't come through. So the business that you're doing need to sustain you so that those who place their lives on your platform is assured of its longevity. So if you don't have that thought out, while the concept is good, as a woman, and if I think long term, I won't be able to rely on you because how are you sustaining? Right. So something for you to think about. I enjoy the concept, and it's not necessarily a platform that you have to build as an app. There are SOCMED pages that already meets the women where they are at, where they are keeping in touch with families through SOCMED platforms, and the interoperability of SOCMED platforms already can enable such activities. So it's not necessarily a platform. But thank you. Over to my fellow judges.
Any other questions from the judges?
Not from me. I actually have to agree with Jasmine. Yeah, and I don't have anything else to add on. Thanks.
Okay. That brings us to a close. Thank you very much, Team Commune. What we will be doing now is put the judges in a room together, a breakout room, so that they can deliberate on the three awards that we will be. The judges on center stage. There we go.
So the judges will announce each title, and yeah, the judges will give some comments. So maybe Fang, you can get started with announcing the judges.
Definitely. So we've got for Kelvin, are you still here?
No, just Charmaine, Danny, and Jasmine.
Okay. Okay. We have put a big spotlight on the three judges. Charmaine, Jasmine, and Danny are all our board of advisors at Fort Ninja's eFintech School. Danny and Jasmine were inaugural, so since from day one, the original gangsters, so to speak. I'll pass the mic over to them to say a few words.
Danny, you start since you're the thorn among the roses.
Ayo, okay. See, not announcing yet, right? Basically, okay. This is I think for me and Jasmine, it's our third cohort, right? Charmaine is second one for you. So a lot of my friends were kind of hearing into this, were asking why you're not asking a lot of questions and stuff like this. So I said, well, it's the third one, so let others ask more questions. So anyway, quite interesting. We actually see very different, to me, very different ideas. I'm talking about across the three cohorts, right? Sometimes you think that you're quite, I mean, imagine if you're in a university, right? You teach the same subject every year, the lecturer will say, oh, yes, kind of roughly similar pictures and all those things will be coming through across the three cohorts. But funny enough, but I think I know why also, that we actually do see very, very different, which is good. I mean, from a judge perspective, especially, is a bit more refreshing. I think the ambassadors that are here today as well, who are from the previous cohort, will also see it quite refreshing, and you can actually get new ideas and stuff like this rather than seeing the same old thing. And I think what we have done right in terms of the school is actually we varied the subjects from the cohorts, right? Because you get your, I think you get to go through your pre-recordings before that, so to encompass, so that gives you a broader view of things. So I think, and that's where we come in and we get a lot of the variation in pictures, right? One comment will be probably, I mean, some of you naturally, I think you all know, it's good that we put everybody on board. You see who is good and what you're lacking. I think this is still part of the school. This is not really a competition, right? It's just a tail to it, just to have more fun, to have call it a competition. But actually, this is still part of the pitch, is part of school, right? So what you have done wrong, good, you know it, you see how others have done it, and then you need to pick it up on that. Usually, judges' questions are actually, I always look at judges' questions as good, because whenever a judge asks you something, or panel asks you something, gives you a chance to clarify again or to add more meat into your thing. It's rather than, it's going to come and grill me and stuff like this, right? So I've seen pictures that people have done that is so nice and short, and they leave leeway for judges to ask them the right question so that they can go and answer the question and maximize that 10 minutes, so to speak, right? So you need to learn tricks like this. And the other thing, word of warning that I see from today's session, some of you guys, some of your pictures are not really fintech, to be very, very frank, right? So, that's something that you need to be very clear. If you go into pictures like this or competition like this, maybe people ask you to do something, you actually go and pitch something else, even though your pitch is superb, but it's not fintech. Technically, if in a very harsher environment, then you'll be bye-bye, you're out of here. All right. But nevertheless, I've done some coaching with some of you guys as well, and the enthusiasm is still there even after the third cohort. And I'm very, very surprised. I don't think I can do it as a student. So well done, guys. Thank you so much. This really add more value to the school, I'm sure, to us as founders and stuff like this as well. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Jasmine, any additional?
At first, you're also OG.
What is OG?
Original lah. Founder.
I thought you meant old girl.
That's why I'm like, what OG nonsense? Well, original gangster, right? No lah. You're all very well mannered and kind. I like to just comment on all the presentation. You guys showed quality. Well done. There was obviously a thinking through of certain concepts, though there were some similarities in some of the features, but you all tried to present a unique selling proposition. I can see that. But one of the things that I feel that is lacking in this particular cohort is really thinking through of business ideas and how to create a sustainable business. As what Danny had also alluded to, there is not all proposals are fintech, and which is fine, but this is an e-fintech school. So the proposal may be relevant in another setting, which is okay. In pitching, you just need to really summarize. 5 minutes is actually a luxury. Many times it's just 1 minute. And then you give 5 minutes to the judges to ask you questions that is relevant to themselves, because it is investment. And they will ask things that they want to know. And sometimes you may not be able to encapsulate that all in one slide or say it all within a minute or two. So that would be a better strategy. Having said that, I do congratulate the team, and I would welcome any from the third cohort who would want to come back and do more and just hang out with the rest of the gangsters. Right, so well done. It wasn't hard. Well, sorry, it wasn't easy to pick a team so quickly. That's because we had to pay attention throughout the 2-3 hours. Otherwise, it would have been impossible for us to pick the team. And there were some who were outstanding. In some, we believe there's definitely a lot of room that you can move. Thanks. Come in.
Okay, first of all, I just really want to say well done to everyone, because I think in terms of like quality, right, I have to agree with both Jasmine and Danny. We can see that you actually put in a lot of good effort in terms of like beautifying your decks. But it's also true that maybe some of you may be lacking in terms of like business cases and also product roadmap. Because as it is a pitch, right, we'll definitely ask, as also what Jasmine has said earlier, right? If I'm an investor, I want to know how much money I put in and what is the return. So if I don't see that, I will not invest. I mean, realistically, right? This is how it works in the real world. And I guess also maybe I'm gonna say sorry, not sorry, for being harsh maybe earlier with some of the questions, because you know, this is really to actually you know, trying to jog you guys to actually to have a deeper thinking in terms, right, of how you can move forward with your other pitches in the future. Because, you know, in the real world, no one is gonna, you know, be so kind. So we just want to, you know, sort of like give you a dose of reality of what's really happening, or what's really out there in the market today. So yeah, and I think, and I believe that, everyone here has actually learned something as well. So congratulations. And I think, it's been a really, really good journey for us thus far. And I guess, we'll be very happy to see you guys again with the upcoming cohorts. Maybe you want to come back to become an ambassador, or, you can contribute in your own ways, or in some other ways. Yeah, so I guess, that's it from me.
Okay, very good. Are you ready to reveal the winners?
Yes,
tight.
which one should go first?
Which one should go first?
Jenna, any preferences?
Let's go with Charmaine first.
Okay, do I get a drum roll for best team? Okay.
Drum rolls. Go ahead, Charmaine.
Drum roll. And the best team goes to Believe.
Woo! Congratulations.
Congratulations, guys.
Hey.
Yeah, so really, really well done, Believe. I just want to say that, not to say that the rest of the team did not put in a good effort, but we can really see the synergy between you guys in terms of, how each one of you is actually, is backing up one another up. And also we can tell that you've been well rehearsed. So it's really, really good synergy. And I guess, in any startups or in any organization, right, when you want to work together as a team, or if you want to pitch to anyone, people want to see that kind of synergy. And if it doesn't mean that you're the presenter, you need to answer all the questions. But for anyone else who actually doesn't know how to answer a question, or someone else who knows how to answer a question, you should just jump in and back each other up. So we saw that. And, therefore, that's why, we name you guys the best team. So congratulations again. And well done.
Thank you.
Team
Thanks,
Believe,
Charmaine.
best team.
Congrats,
Well done.
Believe. So can we have Danny next?
Okay, I'm supposed to announce the best fintech idea, right? So as I mentioned earlier, to be frank, some of your pitches, some of your ideas are not really fintech. So for those cases, automatically, I can call it harsh, you're actually out of the bidding for this, So that made it easier for us, but it's a collective decision anyway. So, okay, the winner of the best fintech team is, check me out.
Woo! Congratulations, check me out.
Okay, basically, yeah, the other guy, just add on a bit, you guys were good. In terms of you have a base that how you want to start the business, so the idea, and collectively how you're going to grow from there, right? The path to what I call the roadmap is clearer, and the idea is quite is solid, right? So hence that's why we give it to you guys as the best fintech. Congratulations.
Congrats. And Jasmine.
Oh, so if I don't announce, nobody can go home, is it?
Yes.
Break open the bubbles and scotch.
We are all home, it seems, I said. Well, so I have the arduous honor of announcing best pitch. Let me just say that everybody's pitch had an angle, but we're talking about 5-minute pitch session and getting your ideas across quickly, succinctly, so that there is a sell and an angle that people can adapt and buy your idea from. So unanimously, we've decided that WTF, best pitch.
Congrats.
Wow.
Congrats, WTF.
Yeah. Very cool. So we got best team, Team Believe. We got best fintech idea in Team Check Me Out, and WTF for best
wholesome thrifty food. Okay.
For wholesome thrifty food. There we go. Any additional comments now that the winners have been revealed?
From
from the judges from the anyone over here actually?
It's me, Ida. I think Trinity deserves a special mention. I was so impressed by them.
Yes.
Jenna, any final?
I think the pictures this time are a little bit more social. Maybe because of the pandemic, maybe you see that there's a bigger cause that you want to strive towards too. So I think it's just a starting your journey, and we are going to do more with the community. So yeah, I think we're also going to do a graduation for you guys in 3 weeks time. So that's it from my side. Anyone else who want to mention something? And we're going to have team picture, guys.
Yeah, so the 2 dates that you need to remember is the 16th of August. That is the deadline for submission of the graduation form. And the 26th, which is a Thursday of this month, that's when we are going to do the graduation ceremony. I welcome you all to, you know what's coming up next. All your cameras need to be turned on. This is pretty much the end. The final one. No more classes. Life, as you know, will go back to normal very, very soon.
It's relieved. Like, oh, no more night classes. Yay!
And you create a smile on everyone's face.
You're gonna miss this class.
Correct. You're gonna get Zoom withdrawal syndrome.
Yeah, Zoom withdrawal symptoms. There we go. Okay, cameras on. Big smiles. Put on your best smiles.
Who's taking the picture?
I will be taking the picture.
Say 1, 2, 3, yeah.
3,
Why cannot 3, 2, 1? What?
Dawn, turn on your camera.
Huh? Cannot. This place cannot turn on camera.
Can we hear the cat? Camera is not working.
Yeah, we can hear, but we can't see. Stop touching the cat. Okay, big smiles. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's page 1. Very good. Bear with me. Don't torture the cat, right?
What thing?
Where is the cat, Thomas?
Thomas Tan. Okay, this will be from Mega to King. There you go, the 2 transformers. There we go. Big smiles. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings a close to our 3-hour session today. Thank you so much for your time and for joining us this evening. This is a wrap for now for all classes and all compulsory stuff for the eFintech school. Thank you, instructors, for all your time. Thank you, Nicholas, YY, all of you who joined us this evening.
Also want to say a big thank you to you and Jenna and also Steven, who's been really, really hardworking throughout the cohort.
Thank you.
And thank you to the ambassadors, obviously.
Yes. Thank you to the
behind
board,
the scene crew,
the mentors as well, and everyone. Please stay safe. This is just the beginning, and stay tuned. You'll be receiving more updates on Slack and email. So good night, everyone. That's all from us. Happy graduation. See you.
Congratulations.
Bye, everyone.
Take care. Stay safe. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.